Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hello, my dear students. Inshallah, today we will go on with the story of Prophet Isa alayhi salam. This is part 2. Actually, in the part 1, we talked about some facts that if you know, you will be able yourself to know why the view of Isa or Jesus alayhi salam in Islam is different than the view of him in Christianity. The first fact today I'll be talking about is the likeness of Isa alayhi salam before Allah is the same like the likeness of Adam. The second fact I want you to know or to remember from last time is the capability of Allah. If Allah wants anything to be, it will be. Our third fact today is the preparation. Allah, before giving us the mission to be Khalifa, or giving Adam the mission to be Khalifa on earth, Allah prepared him at the beginning. And this is the case with everyone here. We get prepared before we will be asked according to our deeds. I also have introduced the characters of our story last time, and we started with the Imra'at Imran. Actually, the ayat I mentioned last time was from Surah Al Imran. Imra'at Imran, mother of Mariam alayhi salam. She wished to have a baby and she made her supplication or dua, and then she became pregnant with a baby, and she vowed her baby to be a servant al-Maqdis, and she already got a baby, Mariam. Actually, at that time, it was unfamiliar, uncommon, that woman to serve in Bayt al-Maqdis. It was only for boys. We introduced Prophet Zakaria. He was a prophet at that time, and he was an old man. And every time he goes to Mariam, he found risk or sustenance in her room, things that he didn't brought for her. And every time he asked, she replied that this is from Allah, and Allah give whoever he wants and without any limit. And this is why Zakaria himself, he wished to have a baby. He was an old man, and his wife also was old, and she was barren or she was infertile. And Allah blessed him with Yahya. You can go back to the video and find out more about this. This is a preparation that we have. Surely Allah prepared everyone before he gave him the mission. Allah prepared Zakaria, Allah prepared Mariam. And my question last time, do you think Mariam is prepared for her mission? This is what we will know, inshallah, today. Also, this preparation was very important also for the community. We had Zakaria, who was a prophet, and he was at old age, and his wife was old, and actually it was impossible for an old lady, and she also was infertile, to have a baby, but the miracle happened. So why not this miracle to happen to Mariam? Okay, this is Allah's ability. Again, this is one of the facts that you have to put in your mind. Inshallah, today we will start our story with Mariam alayhi salam. Mariam is our main character today. You know, Mariam she called Mariam ibnat Imran, and Allah described her to be the best woman in this world. خير نساء العالمين. Allah mentioned in Surah Al Imran, وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاصْطَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ. And when the angel said, "O Maryam, surely Allah has chosen you and purified you and chosen you above the women of the world." This is an honor given to Maryam. And I want you also to know that Maryam, we have a chapter called Mariam, okay? And Mariam is the only woman that have been mentioned by name in the Quran. Our ayah today is from Surah Mariam. Our first ayah says, واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا. This is ayah number 16 from Surah Mariam, and mention Mariam when she withdrew herself in a seclusion from her family or from her people, in a place facing the east. She's staying in Baytul Maqdis, and she's worshipping Allah, or just keep all her time for worshipping. So she's like taking a partition for herself to worship Allah. Okay, no one came to her, only Zakaria is the one who is allowed to speak with Maryam. فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا. She placed a screen or a veil, so it's like concealing herself from everyone. فأرسلنا إليها روحنا. Our second character today would be Angel Jibril. Angel Jibril didn't come in his form. He came in the form of a man with all respect, or in all respect. What will happen if Mariam, the one who is staying alone in her partition, worshiping Allah all the time, the only man coming to her is Zakaria, suddenly she found a man in front of her. What will be her reaction? Oh, she's scared. قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا. I seek refuge with the most gracious from you. If you do fear Allah. Actually, she tried to make him fear Allah. So she said that if you fear Allah, okay? And Angel Jibril, he tried to reassure Mariam and told, he know what she thought about. Actually, she thought that maybe he will come to rape her, but he quickly answered her, إنما أنا رسول ربك, I'm only a messenger from Allah to you. Oh, but what was his message to Mariam from Allah? His message is to إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. This is a message to provide you with the gift of a righteous son. Oh, again, what's her reaction? She will be amazed or even shocked. How can I have a son? أن يكون لي غلام. You can imagine she's not married and she doesn't have a husband and never been touched by any man, and she's a very good lady, she's chaste lady, she never done anything wrong, or يعني she wasn't a baghi or a prostitute or a bad woman. Angel Jibril replied, it's like, calm down. قال كذلك قال ربك. This is what Allah said. هو علي هين. This is easy peasy for him. ولنجعله آية للناس ورحمة منا وكان أمرا مقضيا. Angel Jibril tried to explain to Mariam, this is easy for Allah. If Allah wants anything to be, it's easy peasy for him. And this is what Allah ordained for you or decreed. Okay? So she has to accept this. Mariam gets pregnant. This is what the ayah next say. فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا. It's not easy for her, but again, she was prepared. This is the answer for our last question in our part in part 1. فحملته فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا. Mariam is ready now for the mission. It's not an easy mission. It's hard mission, and we will know now why it is hard. But she accepted the decree of Allah, and then she became pregnant. How did she become pregnant? Actually, the Quran says that Angel Jibril plowed in the opening of her garment, and then she became pregnant, but without more details. Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Anbiya, in Surah Al-Tahrim, that she was a chaste woman, and she haven't been touched by any man, even with the messenger or the angel himself. Only it was like blowing in her clothes, and then she became pregnant. This is a word of Allah. This is, if Allah wants anything to be, it will be. Now she's worried about her community. She's afraid from her community, so she would stay away. She went away. فأجاءها المخاض إلى جذع النخلة. Pains of labor compelled her to go to the trunk of a pond. قالت يا ليتني مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا. And she wished that she was like nothing or being forgotten before. فناداها من تحتها. She already have the baby now. Here فناداها من تحتها. We don't know exactly who called her. Is it Isa alayhi salam, her baby, or is it the angel Jibril? We don't know exactly, but it was like a calming sound, okay, that's coming underneath her, that's telling her that Allah made Sariya. قد جعلت ربك تحتك سرية, provided you with Sari. Sari is like a river or water under your feet. So she can drink from this water. وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا. So Allah asked Mariam in this ayah to shake the palm tree to herself, and then the palm tree will fill down some fresh dates, ripe dates, so she can eat and enjoy her dates, and in the same time she can drink. فكلي واشربي وقري عينا, and she can drink from the waters that Allah made underneath her legs. And I searched, why did Allah ask her this? Before, we know that Mariam, while she was in the mihrab worshipping Allah without making any efforts, Allah would send to her rizq or sustenance to her. And every time when Zakaria came to her, asking, where did you get this risk? She says, or she responds that it's from Allah. But now, with all this pain, Allah instruct her to shake the trunk of the palm tree with the experience of pain, and it's very hard, and no one was here to help her. It was a hard mission. Then why did Allah ask her that? Actually, to give us two lessons. The first lesson is to know that pain doesn't exempt you from work. If Allah, Allah make us Khalifa, so we have a mission in this life. So do your best, okay? Those people who rely on Allah without making any efforts, don't expect anything that you will have. Mariam now, because she surrendered herself to Allah and she accepted His decree, she accepted even with her suffering and her pain, okay? She stand up and shake the tree, so the fresh ripe dates came down to her, okay? So pain doesn't exempt you from work, okay? Also, the second lesson that we can learn, you have to act in order to get. Allah said in one ayah, إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Allah will not change the situation that you have until you yourself, you change your situation or take an action. Then Allah will help you. And this is the meaning of reliance, or tawakkul ala Allah. Actually, some of the scholars mentioned that the trunk of the tree was maybe dried palm tree, so it's not a live one. So maybe she can shake it, but even if it is already died palm trees, then how can she get the dates? Okay, again, this is a reliance on Allah. She have a good trust in Allah. The hard part of her mission. فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. Actually, Mariam accepted the decree of Allah without any hesitation. She knows this is from Allah, then this is her mission and she have to do it, okay, without any objection. But now she have to face her people, okay? So Angel Jibril told her, فإما ترين من البشر أحدا فقولي إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. So if you see any human being or any person, say that I have vowed a fast. She's fasting now, okay? Unto the most gracious Allah, so I shall not speak to any human being today. She was like pointing. She will not talk. Why? You will know now. Mariam will come to her community carrying her baby, and do you think her community will accept her? I don't think so. And I will show you now why. فأتت به قومها تحمله. She has to face her community. She has to come to her people, because this is a miracle. Isa alayhi salam, he will be a prophet. This is what Allah told her at the beginning of her story. He will be a prophet. Actually, she accepted the command of Allah, and she was really, received his decree. She took her baby and brought him to her people, and they saw her. And again, what do you think there will be their reaction? Actually, when you go back to the Quran and the Sunnah, you will find that this community wasn't an easy community. Allah kept sending them many prophets. If you notice that Allah sent them Prophet Zakaria, okay, and then he sent his son Yahya, and then he sent Isa. So 3 prophets at the same time, okay? What does it mean? It means that this community is not an easy community. They are materialistic people. When Allah asked them to give charity, what did they say about Allah? They didn't like to give charity, so they said very bad stuff about Allah. They said, يَدُ اللَّهِ مَغْلُولَةٌ غُلَّتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ. They said the hand of Allah is tied up. He's not generous. This is not acceptable. This is how those people think. Actually, Allah gave them many signs. If you know the story of Prophet Musa alayhi salam, Allah saved them from the tyrant Pharaoh. Also, they asked Musa to see Allah by their eyes. They have seen many signs that prove Allah's existence. And this is why, even with the lots of preparations that Allah prepared them, when Mariam was serving in Baytul Maqdis, and they saw by their naked eyes his Zachariah's wife which is pregnant. Okay, but even with this, they started to say, oh, Mariam, indeed you have brought think Fari. Fari is like, yani, you are a bad woman. How dare you do this? يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغية. Oh, sister of Harun. And Harun that we mentioned here, most of the scholars will agree that he is a righteous man, very well known in the community. So this is why they say, يا أخت هارون, oh sister of Harun, ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغية. They are blaming her. Your father wasn't a man who used to commit adultery, nor your mother was an unchaste woman. Do you think she talked? No, just pointing to the child. فأشارت إليه. She pointed to her baby. قالوا كيف نكلم من كان في المهد صبيا. How can we talk to a baby in the cradle? How? It's like thinking that she's crazy. So the miracle will happen now. The baby himself talked and defended his mom. هو دافع عن أمه. He said, إني عبد الله. قال إني عبد الله. آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا. Verily, I am a servant of Allah. This is the first thing that Isa alayhi salam said. This is like a declaration of the lofty honors that Allah given to Isa alayhi salam. I'm servant of Allah, and this is also to affirm that he's a worshipper, or he's just a human that Allah created him. إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب. Allah given me the scripture, or the ayat will tell us it's called al-Injil, and made me a prophet. وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت, and he made me blessed wherever I am, a person with a great benefit. وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا, and he has enjoined on me, أوصاني يعني enjoined on me الصلاة, prayer, and zakah, charity, as long as I live. وبرا بوالدتي, and to be dutiful to my mother. And this is actually remind us with آية وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا. You have to be, everyone here, you have to be dutiful to your parents. This is what Allah mentioned in one ayah. ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا, and he made me not arrogant or unblessed. والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا. And salam, or peace be upon me, the day I was born, and the day I die, and the day I shall be raised alive. And then Allah said, ذلك عيسى بن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون. This is the Isa ibn Maryam, the son of Mariam. قول الحق, the statement of truth about which no doubt. So there is no doubt now that Isa is the prophet of God. You may ask me, we all know as this community, because this community was a materialistic community, they know that to have a baby we need a man and we need a woman. So how to have a man with only one woman? Okay, I will answer this now, which we already talked last time about the capability of Allah. If you go back to the story of Adam alayhi salam, you will find that Adam was created from no man, no woman. Okay, so from no father, no mother, or no male, or no male, or even no female. Okay, so from dust, from nothing. And Hawa, she was created from a male, which is Adam. She was created from one of the ribs of Adam alayhi salam. And Isa alayhi salam, the same like Hawa, he was created, but not from a man, he was created from a woman. So what's the problem with this? If Allah wants anything to be, it will be. And we, all the humankind, we have been created from a male and female. So if Allah able to create Adam without a male or female, then what's the problem of creating Hawa with only a male and creating Isa with only a female? What's the problem with this? Does Allah have a son? What do you think? Does Allah have a son? Is it yes or no? I will tell you, okay, if Allah have a son, what will happen if Allah have a son? If he have a son, he will be busy with his son. Okay, maybe his son is ill, maybe his son he needs his help, he's looking after his son. Okay, so he will be busy. Is this something acceptable about Allah? Surely no. Allah himself, he said, الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. This آية الكرسي. I want just these two words. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Allah never neither drowsiness overtakes him nor sleep. So يعني, even if you think he's just like slept like this, no, never happens. So he's like looking after us. And he himself, he called his name Rabb. Rabb. Rabb means the one who's looking after you. Okay. Do you think this Rabb, if he have a son, will look after you? He will be busy with his son. But Allah, يعني حاشاه إنه يكون هذا. Allah also said, ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. The Christians say that يعني Isa sacrificed himself for the sins of people. But why? In our Quran, actually, Allah mentioned this in many ayat. ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. You only suffer the consequences of your own choices. You will be judged according to your deeds, not others' deeds. If you a bad person, then you deserve the punishment. If you're a good person, then you will deserve the paradise. Okay, but otherwise, you will not be asked according to others' deeds. Okay, and this is mentioned in many surah. We have Surah Al-An'am, Surah Al-Isra, Surah Fatir, Surah Al-Zumur, Surah Al-Najm. Have the same meaning. What did Allah say about himself? When the non-believers asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, could you please tell us about your God, your Lord? Allah revealed this surah. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, or Surah Al-Ikhlas. Actually, Surah Al-Ikhlas only 4 ayat, but it will give you a wonderful summary about your God. Allah said, oh ya Muhammad, tell them, هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Tell them that Allah is one. What will happen if our God also, if you have a mom and dad, maybe he have illness or he suffering, or this is why I mentioned in the next ayah, Allah Samad. He's the self-sufficient, whom all creatures need, neither eats nor drinks. This is our God, the self-sufficient master. Okay? لم يلد ولم يولد. He begets not, nor was being begotten. So he doesn't have a father, he doesn't have a mother, even he doesn't have a son. ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. And there is none equivalent or co-equivalent to him. Regarding the view of the Christians, maybe you hear the story of Mary while she's riding her donkey and accompanying Joe, and you know the whole story going to Bethlehem. Okay, if you go to the Holy Bible, okay, which is already, this is not the original Bible, this is the edited Bible. Actually, the original Bible wasn't written in English or even in Arabic. It was written in another language, okay? So this is not the original Bible. Even here, it says in chapter 2, it doesn't say or mention anything about the details that you heard in your schools. So this is not the right details. You can go, just write down Luke chapter 2 or birth of Jesus and then Bible, then you find more or read more about this. Also, you can go and watch this video. It's talking about the truth about Christmas. It's a wonderful video. It even here says, would you be surprised to learn that the Bible doesn't even mention Christmas? Would you further be surprised to learn that the story of Jesus' birth, as commonly told, is very different from the inspired text? It says here the inspired, not the revealed, okay? And if you want to know more details, you can just watch the video. It's talking about all the misconceptions about the birth of Jesus and the meaning of Christmas and the celebration of Christmas itself. Thank you so much for your listening.